What's going on, Aubrey? How are you?
I'm great, Lindsay. I have a question for you.
Okay.
And this is a tricky one. I actually saw this quiz on TikTok, and only maybe 1 to 5% of native English speakers got it right. So don't
Oh.
be upset if you get it wrong.
I'm ready. I'm ready.
Okay,
There's a lot on the line here. Let's
there
do
is
it.
a lot on the line. Okay, the question is, what is the opposite of allow, the verb allow? And here are your options: A, forbid; B, disallow; C, prohibit; or D, deny.
Okay. Oh,
This is tricky.
this is hard
We're
because
going to go
I would
into
say
each
I
of
would
these
say
today, guys.
they're
We're going to
almost
share what they all mean. They're all very
Oh
synonymous.
wow, I'm gonna learn a lot today because to me these all are the opposite of allow in
It
my
seems
head,
that way, right?
right?
When you first look
But
at them,
but
only
it's
one is
it's
actually the
definitely
opposite of allow.
and I'm sure it's a trick question, right? We're going back to the
Kind
the
of.
original meaning of allow or the true meaning of allow, I'm
No,
sure.
no,
No, it's not
current
a trick
meanings.
question.
You would,
Okay.
I love that you would expect that of me. I
Yeah,
always try to
yeah.
trick people.
All right. Then I'm going to use the process of elimination here. So I'm going to eliminate deny because it doesn't quite mean the same thing, right? It's not an
Nice.
exact opposite. So that's good. So then I have forbid, disallow, or prohibit. I think it's between forbid or prohibit. And I'm going to say prohibit.
You're so close. You
Oh,
did get it
no.
down to the 50-50. You needed
It's
to phone a friend.
forbid.
You needed to use
On a
the
friend.
eliminate one of the 50-50. Yeah, you were so close. It's forbid, but I didn't realize that either. I looked at all four of these, and same as you, I thought these all mean don't
Oh my
allow, right?
gosh.
What is the
Wow.
difference? Because it is a little bit subtle, but they do each have more specific meanings.
They
You guys,
do.
I'm so excited for you because you can, after this episode, you'll be able to ask your native English speaking friends this question and stump them because
So good. They
very
won't
few
know.
of them will get it right.
They won't know. They won't know. It's so good. It's so good. Guys, this is fun. We're going to learn this together today, right? So we're going to learn in
Yes.
parallel. So let's go into it, Aubrey. So are we going to figure out what the key differences are here between
Mm-hmm.
these four words? Wow.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I know. So interesting, right? I love this. I know you guys love vocabulary. This is very high level, but just fascinating. And the
Love
thing
it.
is, you can't always trust the thesaurus. We talk about this over on IELTS Energy, Jessica and I. If you guys are preparing for IELTS, make sure to follow that podcast
Mm-hmm.
because often a mistake that IELTS students will make is they'll take a word from the thesaurus and use it to mean something that it actually doesn't mean because it'll
Ah.
be like a synonym in certain contexts, but in
Mm-hmm.
other contexts, it does not mean the same thing. So you have to
Oh.
be careful. You can't just find your parallels, your synonyms from the thesaurus. You have to learn what they mean in different contexts.
All right, let's get into it then in that case. Good.
Yeah.
So let's go straight to forbid.
Yes.
So, all right. What does this mean? Yeah, it means to not allow. This was the winning answer,
This is the
right?
winning answer, right? Forbid is
Why?
the opposite of allow. It means to not allow.
Okay.
So you could say she forbids her children to eat dessert. That means she does not allow her children to eat dessert. But here's
Mm,
what's interesting about the word forbid. It's a little harsh. It's a little extreme. I would never
yes.
say, I forbid my children to eat. I would just say, you can't have dessert, or
Yeah.
I don't let
I
my children
forbid
have
you.
dessert. We
Yeah.
really avoid using forbid because it's so extreme. It's so harsh.
It might be a little bit old fashioned
A
or
little bit.
too formal. It makes me think. So right now I'm watching Handmaid's Tale. Did I tell you this
I
before?
love that show. Ooh,
Oh, it's so intense. It honestly, it's hard to watch.
it
It's
is
really,
hard to
really hard to watch
watch.
if you guys haven't. But
Disturbing.
it's not. Yeah, right. It's not taking us back into the past. It's like an alternate universe where if something had happened
Right.
politically, something else would happen. But I imagine them using that in that show. Right? They're in traditional dress. It feels like they're
Yes.
in the 1800s, but they're not. Right? So I
Right.
forbid you. Right? You cannot do
A
that. You
lot
can't
of
leave the
things were
house.
forbidden, right? It's a
Mhm.
dystopian. So
It's a
you hear
dystopian
utopia for
universe.
like an ideal world.
Yes,
Dystopia is the opposite of that. It's
that's a
like
great way
worst
to
case
describe it.
scenario for
Yeah.
maybe something post-apocalyptic. So
Post
that'll
climate
definitely
change.
be in
Yeah.
the app, you guys, dystopian, because that's
Yeah.
such an interesting word.
Yeah, it's crazy. So check
But
out this
here's an
show if you
interesting,
can handle it. I don't know
yes, if you can
if
handle it, be ready, have a glass of wine, maybe.
yes. All right,
But
well, what's
here's what's
interesting?
interesting about forbid is that we do use it jokingly. I use it jokingly a lot. I might say, I forbid you to eat any more cookies because I want the
Ah,
cookies, right? We will say
interesting.
this for humor, to be funny, telling someone we forbid them something that we're not really allowed to forbid them to do, right?
I love it. So, what's the recommendation for our listeners here? Should they use this only just in the joking sense if they're
Yeah.
having fun, but generally not really using it in terms of telling people what they can't do, right? Because it's kind of old fashioned, out of style. Yeah.
Yep, exactly.
Okay.
Very much so, right? This does mean the opposite of allow, but there are other ways that natives are, especially in conversation, we're just going to say, I can't do that. You can't do that instead of I forbid it.
Okay, I love it. And then, okay, number two, disallow. Now I see why it's not the opposite of allow if we look at the definition, right? Which is to
Exactly.
refuse to declare valid. Okay, that's
Yes.
different from saying I allow this, right? Or
Exactly.
that's,
So here's some good examples, right? The judge disallowed her testimony.
oh, yeah,
So it isn't about not allowing, it's that there is something that exists and you are not going to declare it as valid or
yeah.
accept it as valid.
Okay, so it's involving a more formal scenario, like a process, an
Yes.
institutional scenario. The evidence was disallowed in court, in the institution of the court, right?
Right. And that might be because the police didn't have a warrant, something like that. Right. So the
Mm-hmm.
evidence exists, but the
Mm-hmm.
court is not seeing it as valid for some reason.
That makes sense. And what's the third example?
So this is in sports, you'll hear this a lot. The official should disallow the goal because,
Yes.
like, maybe there was a goal, but oh, there was a penalty or something. So they're going to disallow it. They're not going to see it as valid.
Right. So this really isn't something that you're going to have in your conversation necessarily. It's probably more something you're going to see on the news or
Mm-hmm.
read in a newspaper about official
Yep.
proceedings,
But
right?
now you know what it means. And it's fascinating. If you ask a native speaker this question, they will often choose disallow because
Too
we have
easy.
that prefix dis,
Yeah.
and we think,
No.
oh, that means the opposite. That must be right.
Some
Oh,
people
this is
might.
a really tricky one. English, so rude, so
Yeah.
unfair to trick
No.
us like this.
Right. But like, you take the SAT, you understand the tricks and traps that these tests
Totally.
have, right?
Totally.
You know, it's not that easy. It's not that
I
easy.
know. So let's go into
um,
the third one, prohibit. And this is, again, if you understand the definition, you realize it means a little something different. It's to officially forbid something by law or rule.
yes.
So, right, I
Okay.
can't
Right.
say I prohibit my children from eating dessert. There's no
Yeah.
official law or rule there, but I could say drinking alcohol is prohibited
Mm-hmm.
in the United
Mm-hmm.
States if you're
Mm-hmm.
under the age of 21.
Yeah. And that was in my head when I was choosing prohibited. I
Mm,
thought there might be a reason why this could be wrong. And I was envisioning a sign in a bar, an official sign in a bar that says it's prohibited to drink if you're under 21. So that means, official laws, things that are written on signs, on walls, right? That kind of
exactly.
thing,
And you
right?
can see why even native speakers make this mistake because if you think, oh, that means drinking's not allowed in here,
Yeah.
you don't think about, okay, let's see, what's the actual nuance of this word? It means there's an official rule or law.
Exactly. Or you may see this as like a no trespassing sign on a
Mm,
fence, prohibited
trespassing
entry,
prohibited.
prohibited official entry,
Yes.
like without official documentation or something like
Hmm.
that, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
definitely. Or we might say the company's HR policy prohibits harassment, something
Hmm.
like that, right?
Hmm.
It
Yeah.
doesn't necessarily have to be an official law. If it's a policy, some kind of rule, you can say something is prohibited.
And then there's kind of a second meaning here, right,
Hmm.
for it, which is to make something impossible. So this is more conversational, right, Aubrey?
Yes, right. You might say the high walls of the prison prohibit escape, means
Okay.
that it makes escape impossible.
Still sounds formal to me though.
Definitely, very
Yeah.
high level. But we
Yeah.
would use this at work, right? If we might say, limited funds are prohibiting our success,
Yeah.
right? It means it's making
Mhm.
it impossible.
The way I actually use this more, I don't use it in this way. I use the word prohibitive. It's
Ooh,
prohibitive,
yes,
right?
that's a
Like
great adjective from this
yeah.
word.
Like we talk about inflation happening right now in the US. It's getting pretty bad. We thought it was going to get better in August, and then we see the data from August. It's gotten worse, right? So the cost of eating out has almost become prohibitive for a lot of Americans. That I use in conversation more
Yes,
than
I
the
do
word
too.
prohibit. Yeah.
Yes, I use that adjective, meaning like something is being made impossible because of
Mm-hmm.
something else. Ooh, good point.
Yes.
That's very native and natural to call something prohibitive.
Okay, Aubrey. So now let's move into our number 4 here, that fourth word. Our
Yes.
listeners are going to be so good at vocabulary by the
I
time we
know you
finish
guys
today.
are better than most natives. This one, most native speakers, at least a lot in what I saw, chose deny, because you
Oh,
can see that doesn't that mean to not allow? But just like you said, Lindsay, right? It has a
yeah.
little bit of a different meaning.
Right.
Its opposite is approve. So it means to refuse to approve or grant something. And it really helps to think about like an insurance claim or a bond. You
Yes.
would say you approve it or you deny it. You wouldn't say you allow it.
Right. This implies kind of a process, an approval
Right.
process, right? A system, a process, right? So, he denied her the chance to interview for the job, right?
Yes.
Another
Or she
one.
was denied access to the company's intranet, meaning like your interior
Okay.
internet network.
Yes. Oh my God. They're so subtly different, but they're a little bit different. Let's show our listeners in a role play where these might come up, shall we?
Perfect. Yeah. So
Okay.
in this role play, we're chatting about your dog, Kiefer.
Kiefer. Yes. It's so funny. A lot of people think his name is Keeper with a P, right? Keeper. When I pass people in the park, they're like, "Oh, Keeper. That's such a cute name." Like, it's not Keeper. That's
Oh,
a
you're
weird
like not
name.
popping your
That's
P's enough. So they think you're saying keeper. That's really cute.
It's Kiefer, Kiefer, and it actually means it in Gaelic. I guess it means cherished. Actually, I just found that out.
Oh,
So I love
I
that.
assumed you
Anyways,
named him after Kiefer Sutherland.
yeah, no.
Sure. But I kind of love keeper to be like, he's a keeper. We
Yeah,
use that to
so
say for
tacky
something
though.
that we
So
would want to
tacky.
keep. It's kind of adorable.
I think it's really tacky. All right.
Adorable but tacky.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. All right, here we go. Here we go. All
All
right.
right, I'll start us out. Are there any rules you've had to establish for your puppy?
Definitely. Oh, we forbid him to jump on the furniture.
Does he obey?
Sometimes he would try to jump up, but we've always denied access.
What fun places are you able to take him?
Unfortunately, dogs are prohibited at our favorite pub.
Oh no, you should submit a formal petition for them to change their rules.
Unfortunately, I think they disallow it. Ooh, sounds
Nice.
very formal. Formal conversation.
Yes, some of these words are a little formal, so it's
Yeah.
tricky to try and sort of force
Yeah.
them into a role play, a conversation we might actually have, because
Right.
yeah, we
Yeah.
can point those out as we go along.
Right.
I probably wouldn't say, you probably
Yeah.
wouldn't say we forbid him to jump. Maybe if you're joking, we forbid him to jump on the furniture.
Yeah.
You
Yeah. Yeah.
probably would just
Yeah.
be like, we don't let him jump on the furniture.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. These words I feel like would be like you'd be more likely to use them in a conversation if you have to call the police department or talk with a lawyer or something like that,
Something
right?
very official.
Yes,
Totally.
for sure.
Yeah.
Okay. So I said, definitely. You said, are there any rules you've had to establish for your puppy? Definitely. We forbid him to jump on the furniture, as you said, Aubrey. What's next?
And then you were saying he would try to jump up, but we've always denied access. And this is the
Sounds
meaning,
funny.
right? To refuse to grant him access. And maybe you would say it formally like this, sort of to be funny, but we really would probably just say, but we've never let him, right? So he'd try
Access
to jump up,
denied.
but we don't let him.
Yeah, I think people might say this in a funny way, though,
Mhm.
like access denied, right? Like you might
Access
be joking
denied.
around and trying to
Right.
act like a robot or something. People make
Yes.
jokes like that. They act weird sometimes, like that, using that
For
phrase, right?
sure, but just in like everyday conversation,
Yeah,
we would remove these sort of more formal
yeah,
words and
I
just
agree.
say, yeah, we don't
We
let
don't
him.
let him.
We don't let
Yeah.
him.
Right.
And then
Okay.
you said dogs
Uh-huh.
are prohibited at our favorite pub. I guess you maybe say, we probably would in this case say, dogs are not allowed or they don't let dogs in,
They don't
right?
let
But
dogs in.
the
Yeah.
real meaning, you definitely could say dogs are prohibited there.
Exactly. I mean, the good news is that here in Colorado, it's a very dog friendly state. Most people can
Nice.
bring their pups to a brewery and hang out outdoors. It's
They're not
great.
prohibited in very
Extreme.
many places.
No, it's great. Not inside, but yeah, outside for sure.
And then to use disallow, I said, oh, you should do a formal petition. You said, I
Yeah.
think they would disallow
Disallow it. Yeah.
that.
Yeah. 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 So this is good because we're showing you an example. We're bringing it into a casual conversation, but out in the real world, guys, this would happen more. And let's say you get called in for jury duty and you
Mm.
contest that and you have to call, and that would be where these would come up. Something like that. Right.
Definitely. You might get
Yeah.
disallowed as a juror.
Yeah. Maybe, or yeah, your excuse is disallowed
There
or
you go.
something.
Right. Oh, it's so interesting. I think it is going to be really helpful for you guys to understand these when you do see them in the news, on TV, and especially, true crime shows. You're going to see all of these, like you said, in a courtroom, but
Yes.
definitely don't stress about using the right one.
Oh, no.
And often you're going to want to choose more like natives to say something like, I don't let them do that. I don't
I don't
do
let
that.
him do it. Yeah, very simple. I love it. So, guys, yeah, don't be afraid to kind of stump your native speaker friends. If you're in the right
Yes.
mood, maybe you're joking around, having fun with the person, you're on a
I
good
would love
level,
that.
pop this quiz on them, right? Just have fun with it. Why not? Why not? So
I
good.
know, so fun. Awesome, Lindsay. This was
Yes.
really fun.
Yeah, good stuff. And guys, if you want more great episodes from All Ears English, remember we publish 4 days a week, if not more. So go over and hit follow on All Ears English. All right.
Awesome. Thanks,
Good
Lindsay. I'll
stuff.
see you next time.
Talk soon. Bye.
Bye.